Welcome to day 5 of our 6 days of January releases, and today we bring you this cute little Swiss pixie with a big heart. And so I stamped her with Memento ink, and I didn't film that part of this video, and I did it on Copic paper. So I'm just coloring her with Copic markers, and I'm using my go-to skin color, which is EO4, EO2, EOO, EOOO, and EOOOO. And I start with the lightest color to just put a base on the paper, and then I grab the darker color and work down from that, using the next color to blend it out. And then on her cheeks, I just used a little bit of EO2 and then the EOOO to blend it out. And then I worked on her hair. My least favorite thing to color with Copic markers is hair because I find it the hardest part to do all the flicking and getting it in the correct direction because, hair goes in the different directions. So this is me coloring the hair. I think it turned out really cute though, but my favorite to color is actually skin. I think the skin is the easiest part to color of an image. So here we go. We're going to finish up the hair color here, and I used the E44, 47, and 49 to give her some nice brown hair. And then we're going to work on the little parts of her that we're going to do in red. And I just did her little barrette, and then I did the shirt she's wearing, and then just the little hearts on her shoes. And then I will do the heart here, or yes, her socks and the heart. I wanted the actual big part of the heart to just be white, and then the um, ruffles on the heart to have some color in them. And I wanted to keep just with pink and red in her and not bring in the other colors that's going to be in the card because I wanted her to be more kind of Valentine looking. So I'm just doing some shadowing, giving some shadows on the socks and the ruffle on the hearts. And then just to give the white a little depth, I went with the W1 and W0. I like the warm grays for white clothing. I think it looks more natural than, say, a cool gray. So then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut her out. And I really don't like fussy cutting. I'm not very good at it. I get very impatient. And but that's why I try to have dies with all my stuff. Or I just stamp the image and not have to cut it out. But and you're always supposed to hold the scissors and move the paper, not make the paper cut the image, but I'm not very good at that. So I have just a white piece of paper that I cut out with our rectangle die, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Distress Oxide inks to give the paper a little bit of color, and then she will be positioned in the center of the paper. So I'm starting with a little bit of picked raspberry ink, and then I move on to carved pumpkin, and I get those two colors blended on the paper. And then we're going to move on to squeezed lemonade and follow up with abandoned coral. And I actually came really late to the game on the Distress Oxides. I just got myself 3 sets of them about 2 months ago. So I'm still new to using them, but I find them to be a lot of fun. And I used to have stencils, but my supplier has gone out of business, so I'm looking for a new stencil supplier so we can start adding stencils to the store. Because I think that would be a lot of fun to be able to use the Distress Oxides with the stencils. So now I'm just backing the piece of paper that I used the oxides onto the yellow paper that I cut out with the scalloped rectangle die that's in the store. So I just glue that on, And then I'm going to go ahead and glue it all to a coral colored cardstock base. So I usually pre-cut all my bases before I start recording, and I do not do standard sizes on my cards. I just kind of go with what I feel like at the time. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment on black paper, and I cut it out with our banners die. And I'm going to go ahead and use embossing ink and then white embossing powder to make it really stand out. Now this ink pad, we still have a few left in the store. They are discounted and are going fast. So I'm just going to use white embossing powder and emboss this with my heat gun. And I did not position the gun right, so you cannot see it embossing, heating up the powder. So then I'm going to go ahead and get the card put together. So I'm just gluing down the little sentiment at the bottom, and then she's going to kind of stand on it. So the little very bottoms of her feet are going to be on the sentiment on the banner. And then I used some foam tape to pop her up on the card to give a little bit of dimension. And this was just some old foam tape that I had around for a long time, and I think this was like the very last bit of it that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that off and attach her to the card. And we're just about done now. So I added her, and then I added a little bit of red stickles to the heart in her hair and the little hearts on her shoes. And then I decided the card needed just a little bit more, so I used some enamel dots. These are also in the store but are retiring and going fast. I really like this set though because it has a rainbow of colors on it, so they'll match pretty much any card you're making. Thank you for joining me on day 5, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.